Hey, what's up, everybody? Just a little. What's up, Brock Eastwood? Dimitri, how you doing? Large Barbs is in here. Shane, Madison, how's it going? Yeah, thanks. I mean, just talking to Dave, the content the last week has done better, faster than anything I've ever put out. It's been really surprising. I mean, I put a ton of work into those videos, but I still didn't expect them to take off the way they did. I thought they would get views over time because I assume Erie Canal is a popular search topic, but I did not expect a video in less than a week to get over 16,000 views on a channel this size. So thanks. Edmund's good. I think he just joined us down here. He's trying to decide where he wants to sit. What's up, Shane? Yeah, I run a lot of red lights. Michigan Biker, what's up? Peekaboo. Shalex, good evening. Can't wait to hear about the Finger Lakes tour. Yeah, that was awesome. Absolutely loved it. It was wild, but I think pretty much got everything out in those videos. Covered everything, but ask anything else you have a question about. So, what's up, Cycling Brian? Donald in Cincinnati. Oh yeah, I forgot I could pull up the topics. Not that out of practice. We streamed last week, didn't we? Yeah. The Main, what's up? Was that the Main Outdoors? I already clicked the Main Outdoors. What's up? Hey, what's up, William and Ron? Is it your birthday today? Happy birthday, bud. I think I saw that on Facebook. I think that was today. So, if not, happy belated birthday. Logan's Run, what's up? Channel member there. What's up, Pudgy? THG. Mark. Hey, Dylan, how's it going? Yeah, Dylan, this is the DJI Pocket 3. Um, I actually feel like it looks really flat, and I don't know in webcam mode. I just haven't even looked into it. If I could, I would actually like to add some saturation into it. Uh, I feel like it almost, not quite, but it almost looks like a log or a flat profile. Oh, is the mic weird? Let me know if the audio sounds weird. Thanks for letting me know, Matt. Everything looks normal, but you might actually be hearing Edmund scratch back there. Wasn't he scratching on? Oh, he's in a box.
He's in a box. Is everything working for everybody else? It might just be your Wi-Fi.
Oh.
Everything keeps buffering.
It's looking. This is saying the stream is healthy, but I'm all grainy. Yeah, it's like I said, it's like a flat or a log profile or something. What's up, Farley? Oh, it is William's birthday. Happy birthday.
Street Hopso 4 subscribed to the channel.
I think something's going on.
Do you think something's wrong?
Maybe.
YouTube's not showing me anything being wrong. Yeah. Just let me know. Yeah, I think sometimes continuing content works. It doesn't always. I've like last year I did the Michigan bike tour in like 4 parts, and the views actually dropped off. Whereas this year, the views on the second video are actually high, or they're not higher overall, but they've taken off faster. So Dylan says it looks good. So yeah, I guess it's a mix. My Michigan biker says it looks good. Pudgy asked if I want his Hero 5 for live streams. No, I've actually got a. What is this? I've got a Hero 9 over here as a backup. Heroes aren't that reliable for live streaming. I don't even think... Can you even stream on the 5? I don't know. I traded that for a book saddle probably 5 years ago already. But yeah, I have backup. I have 2 GoPros that still work, but the 9 is the one that's always plugged in here when when everything fails. Oh my god, fruit flies like crazy. Every year at this time, so... Madison said sounds good in Virginia. Yeah, this camera is I think it's definitely better suited for something like this. I don't know what's going on with the R5, but like it has no problems in real life. It just for streaming it's just become completely unreliable. And I think this proves it wasn't the USB-C cable because I'm using the same USB-C cable. I don't know. No idea what's going on. Could be the software, but I don't like using that camera like that anyways. I don't like running a now 4-year-old camera that's very, very expensive all the time. But I only started using that because my old camera stopped working for live streaming as well, which was a Canon. So. But yeah, this has been completely stable. And it's nice because it is on a gimbal, so I could actually, like when we had the guest yesterday or last week, and I didn't know how many were that I didn't know Brad was showing up with Ames. It's easy to move around. We have it on a magic arm, so I could also move the whole position back and forth. So yeah, it's a much better setup for live streaming, and it does have some depth of field. The Canons were nice because I could really blur the background, and I just like that look. But this one can do it at least a little bit. So. Shane, you said you would pay to see me ride a modern bike. I mean, the Gunner's not an old frame, but it's not a modern build. And then the Raleigh is a 2014, but the build is 11-speed Shimano. So I guess it depends on what your definition of modern is. If it's electronic shifting and 12-speed, then yeah. You can stream if it has HDMI out. Yeah, I can't even. The Hero 5, I'm sure it has USB-C, but I can't remember. Man, it's been. Like I said, I traded that camera a long, long time ago. Actually, to Kenny, who owns Missing Falls Brewing. And yeah, for the Brook saddle, I have on my single speed. Donald, you said your friends in Rochester and Western New York enjoyed my mispronunciation of local towns and lakes. Yeah, I mean, I think some are easy, like what, Seneca and Canandaigua. I believe I'm right on those ones. But yeah, I was so far off on Skinny Atlas. That's how the the two camps that commented when I asked about the pronunciation of that lake. Some people wrote Skinny Atlas, and some people wrote like kind of Skinny Atlas. So, but we were nowhere close because it's SKA. So we were saying ska, and like I made the joke in the video that it was actually just called Needleless until third wave ska hit in the 90s. Did you get that joke?
Barely.
Lee Harvey Oswald, all those bands that came out. The ska flaws. I had a college roommate in 1998 who loved third wave ska, so yeah. Anyways. Hey, what's up, Wes? How you doing tonight? Oh, by modern bike, did you mean a carbon bike? Yeah. That'll probably never happen unless a brand like straight up sent me one and said, try this out and make a video. I would probably not turn it down if it was something decent, but to try it out and make a video about. But I would never spend my money on one. Just not interested. Yeah, like Pudgy said, Tim rides modern bikes. They just aren't the pop culture bikes people get too excited about. That's why we kind of have a little bit of our own scene. So. Ah, Rebecca, she said, you've inspired me to do your first bike pack, Erie Canal, Buffalo to Albany within the month. Training now. You have a whole hammock set up. Do you see any issues? The only issues that I ever see with the hammocks is we have stayed in parks in Ohio and state parks where the trees, like on the campsites, are just at the edge of the campsites, like over the poison ivy, and there's just like all the raccoons. So there's just been places where I wouldn't have wanted to pitch a hammock. Someone commented on the Finger Lakes video, said they were going to be doing using a hammock out there, and on every place we went in the Finger Lakes and on the Erie Canal, the park that we camped there, I think would have been fine. It's just something worth looking into to make sure your campsite has a couple trees, and then also to make sure that, and I don't use them, so I don't know, but just make sure that they're tree safe ropes at the end of them. I think they have like a flatter, whatever, attachment point, because we did get in trouble. Not in trouble. A ranger talked to us because we had thrown our food over a tree branch on a rope, and he said that's not allowed there because the rope would, pulling it up and down would ruin the branch. We had actually thrown it over a dead branch, which was just a coincidence, but got us out of that issue. But so those are the only issues I know about. But like I said, I personally have never used one, and my friends that I camp with don't use them. So there's probably someone who's already answered in the comments a better answer than I have. But
James Misko
Scotalites,
subscribed to the
but yeah, I
channel.
remember them too. Hey, what's up, Dave Geller? Oh, Wes, you left me a message on Discord. I'll check it.
Billboard
Discord can be
subscribed to
like
the channel.
Instagram if you use that, where if you haven't added someone as a friend, it might put it into another folder, so I don't always see it. I'll double check. So sorry about that. Same thing happens on Instagram. People message me, but it goes into that other folder, and I only remember to check that every so often. Instagram's worse than Discord because I check Instagram less often these days just because I get so sick of the amount of advertising on there. Oh, Wes, you said you have a bag of camera gear that I might be interested in. 35mm cameras and lenses. Oh, I did see your message, and I was out riding, and I read it when I made a quick stop, and then it's like I'll respond to this when I get home, which is another problem, that it's just a personal thing that I do sometimes. I even mess up on work emails. I try not to do that, but at least those don't disappear. I keep them in my inbox. But yeah, I did read your message, and then I didn't respond when I got back. I would definitely check that out. Ken said you live near Rochester, and it's great to see some of your favorite trails. Yeah. How do? Oh yeah. So what is? That's one I don't even. I say Kuka, and I can't get that. I'm trying to get the K sound in it. Kuka Lake, right? That'd probably be right. The Auburn Trail was really cool. I had no like before we went there. I had no familiarity with it. I had ridden the Genesee Trail a little bit when we've been in Rochester. Obviously, the Erie Trail before, but the Auburn Trail was cool. How through Rochester was kind of through the neighborhoods. Then south, it was a mix of neighborhoods and yeah, single track. Reminded us a lot of the OCA in New York. So. Donald giving some advice there. Yeah, how up? Like I always hear that prevailing wind idea, but even I just the odds are on your side, but it doesn't. It's still you never know. You know? I feel around here that it just so depends. Pudgy said he's going to bring up his enduro bike, and we need to do a satire video so everyone can see you ride a cool bike. Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah, I've never tried anything like that. Like we were talking when we were talking about horns last time, though. I think I'd probably die if I tried to ride those trails. Maybe we could take it to Hampton or something, ride the downhill. So. Hey, what's up, Bike Vids? Santa Cruz, California. You like to see me regular mention the rules? Yeah, and like again, a lot of times I mention the rules and I mention them when we're breaking them, just so like people are aware. Like in the last video, I was like, there was a blatant no swimming sign, and we were like, we're going swimming. But I'd rather everyone else be aware. I don't want to make a video where we're like, and then we went swimming in the lake here, and it's like we're pretending like it's okay. It's not allowed. I don't think there was anyone there who's going to bust you for it, but I think it's better that people know the rules, or when we're a little confused when we get off track. Like we did the first day in Rochester, where I knew some of the trails were rideable, but then there were some parallel ones that, looking on second guess, became not legal to ride at some point. It's yeah. And then the intro to this video, like everyone says, I just run all the red lights, so, so that goes without saying. Kevin, any chance to take on the East Coast Greenway? I've looked at parts of it before, like the northern sections. I think like kind of like, doesn't it go New York through Philly and down? Yeah, it's been on my radar. There was a Terry Berenson like kind of did the whole entire thing and live streamed it over the winter, which was pretty cool. My trips are usually limited to a week, so it would just be part of it, because just it's hard to be gone longer than that with work.
Toby subscribed to the channel.
Just saw the Freedom Trail will have a ramp up to Perkins Street. Yeah, that looks like it's almost done. We rode that, right? I think that's the section that's done. I rode that 2 Wednesdays ago or a Wednesday ago on one of Large Marge routes. What's the widest tire I have run for single track? 55s, the 55s I have on the Gunner. I could go wider on that bike, but I'm kind of splitting the difference, because even this week I'm jumping on that bike and riding a road ride 190 miles to Ann Arbor. So if I only rode it as a mountain bike, I would probably max out the width on that bike. But was someone named Silent Bob? Did I miss that? Cycling Brian said, I ride sometimes with a friendly group of roadies, and your steel bike is the only one that will trigger the stoplights. Huh. You guys have stoplights down there that are triggered by just, it must be a magnet system then. Yeah. Everything here is either, well, there used to be the ones in the ground, and I don't think those are as common anymore around here. When I was growing up, it was mostly like pressure on the pavement. Remember that out in Bath and stuff?
Nope.
Now it's usually like optical. There's something on the...
What?
You see magnetic ones around here?
Yeah, like the little squares in the ground.
Oh, those ones are magnetic?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I assume those were just old remnants of the pressure ones.
Oh no, that outline is like a magnet.
Ah, okay.
It's like if you're in like a big truck or something. Like I'll be in work trucks that don't trigger it because they're too high up off the ground.
I had no idea that those were magnetic. Yeah, I thought they were just remnants of the old pressurized ones. Because when they'd pave over, well, maybe they were always that. I just always assumed because they'd paved over it a couple times that it wasn't working anymore, but that could also be true magnets. Kind of had to wear back in. Michigan bikepacker, yeah. I made that video a few back called "The Art of the Light Trespass," which is what we always joke about. We're light trespassing. Like we don't go a lot of like if we pull up on a property we've looked at on a map and we have planned to ride and there's like a million no trespassing signs, we don't do it. Or if we could see the houses and stuff like that that someone owns, we avoid it. But there's a lot of gray areas around here. Some of the places we ride, we've ran into people who know the owner and they're like, he bought this so no one would develop it. Doesn't care if people are back here. I've said this before. If you go along railroad tracks, it's always going to be trespassing and you can get a ticket. So I never recommend that. Someone reached out to me through Instagram and him and some friends were coming through town and he was like, could you recommend one of your routes? And I was like, I just have a really hard time doing that because things change so much. And we also like to avoid, like when a big homeless camp shows up in a certain area, and it's not, people think it's the opposite. They think we're avoiding it for our safety. A lot of times we're avoiding it for their privacy, you know? So but again, I'm not worried, but it doesn't mean I want to send someone else down that road that I don't know without leading the ride or something like that. So, yeah. Hampton was dusty and loose. Yeah, I know. I need to get out to some of the banded trails that we do ride because some places that are always wet would be pretty rideable right now, like Honda Hills. But yeah, it was a Kevin Smith silent bot. I see the references, but I missed the initial one somehow. Induction coils in the pavement at some intersections. Yeah. I guess I just never knew that. It's funny that I never, as nerdy as I am, and as much as I read the newspaper, I never knew that's what triggered the cars. William Brown, it's called Meet Me in Manchester. Lugs Not Drugs, and then his friend Jude are putting it on. So that's a gravel. There's 4 routes on Saturday and Friday and Saturday night camping on a farm property. I think there's still some spots left. I did share a link in the Discord, but it is on Bike Reg. Meet Me in Manchester. I don't know if he closed registration, but he had posted, I feel like up to yesterday, that there were still spots for it. So, yeah, just the end of the week's looking good for me. And so, yeah, I think I'm going to take off early Thursday morning. I'll have like a 115-mile day and then camp and then ride through Toledo, up into Ann Arbor, get dinner, and then over to the event in Manchester. So Tim is too skinny for that traffic light stuff. Huh. Dylan said SPD cleats will trigger the magnet if you put it on the line on the ground. Huh. And I've always been waving cars up behind me because I thought I wanted their weight so it would change the light.
No, it's picking up the underside of the car.
Huh. Do you think so? Steel bikes are enough to trigger it? Well, I guess if an SPD would.
You
so.
get, yeah.
That makes sense, Donald. I just here it's like I ride like some wide open roads and some wide open rail trails, and I just feel like, yes, generally the jet stream is that way, but our just weather is so wild here. But I guess river valleys do affect that as well. Hey Shane, I've actually done that. Me and Dylan, I think Dylan actually already answered this below, but we did that last Labor Day. Yeah, Erin just asked me this week when we're going to get down there because she hasn't ridden them. So I actually did want to hit up Dylan and Pudgy and everyone and see if anyone was up for renting maybe that Benton on the Bailey's camp spot or one of those cabins and do a couple days of riding down there. We did it bikepacking through Stroud's into the Baileys. I would really like to do it where I just went and had a home base and got to just ride them without my whole setup, just so we could get more miles in, get less tired. Plus Stroud's was interesting, but that took it out of me because that's super old school and slow going. So,
David Tran subscribed to the channel.
I wonder why I didn't read that out loud. Desktop audio's on. I know Pudgy said last week he had something that didn't get read out loud either. Hi, what's up, Sam? Sam said we should do the Michigami route. I believe we looked into that before. Oh, Wes, did you ask on one of the videos about the midnight special? I also can't remember if I answered that comment because I know I thought about it a bunch. Because I think you were asking if you should get one with 650 wheels. Pudgy said I have one traffic light within 10 miles of my house, so you don't know how traffic lights work. I'm sure that one's probably just fully on a timer. There's no... Oh yeah, 650B setup. Nice. I haven't used the ultralight casings yet, but I'm putting one on the rally. I'm actually going to take the bike to the shop if I have time before I leave this week, because a friend sold it to me for $5 and said I have to use it he'll sell it to me for $5, but I have to try it. So no, I use the standard casing on the rally, and now I am using the endurance casing on the Gunner. I ride the Gunner for mountain biking and all that crazy like rocky stuff we do in New England, and then just all the exploring stuff you see in the videos when they're around here. So I've gone to the endurance casing. I love the way the standard casing rides, but yeah, even the standard casing could be finicky. I've rarely, I have gashed them and I have needed to fix them and put tubes in them, but I just find it's hard to get sealant sometimes to even just stay in those tires. Yeah, it's an issue with super supple tires. I love the way they ride, but I also lose the benefit half the time because I'm running tubes in them anyways. So, but I've had no issue since I put the endurance casing on the Gunner, and that was the whole Michigan trip. I've now mountain biked down it a couple times and then done some kind of off-road gnarly stuff. So I think those are probably the way to go if you're going to be doing stuff that's rougher. Oh yeah, I've been to Holmes. Holmes is great. The original location. I haven't been to the campus location. I think the campus location is the second one. But yeah, I went to Holmes years ago, and then we were there when we went up to the Ann Arbor Handmade Bike Show. Oh, you guys heard it, so the volume just must not be up on my TV. Oh, Wes, you asked then deleted it, so all right. It's funny because one night I read that, I was laying in bed and I didn't want to type a response on my phone. I'm like, I'm going to wait till I could get to my keyboard so I don't get all this autocorrect shit. But yeah, I have a number of friends who love the Midnight Special, and on the last video, Mikey was riding a Midnight Special. I think his might be 700C though, so, but. Yeah, the bikes I ride the most have disc brakes, mechanical disc brakes, the same ones, the Grotech equals. So the Gunner and the Rally do, but before those two bikes, I didn't have any bikes with disc brakes. So. Yeah, Ryan, a lot of people have asked this, and bike checks, and I really want to do it on the bikepacking trips. I've literally brought wireless mics and the whole thing to do it on both of the last tours we've done. And in Michigan, we were so spent at the end of the day, I just wanted to set up my tent and not worry about it, because I kind of really want to do it as someone sets up the stuff, takes all this stuff out of the bags. I thought it would make a lot of sense. And then this trip, same thing. And then it was, if you watch the videos, we did those climbs into the campground, or the one day we got into camp, it was raining. So I brought the camera I'm filming on right now with its wireless mic with full intention to do it, and didn't make it happen. part of me just wants to ask Ben and Aaron and like Mikey and Brad if they want to just like go do an overnighter and get in early and like intentionally to like make those YouTube videos because so many people want to see them. And yeah, they would probably do really well because people love that stuff. I watch that kind of stuff too. So. So Tim buys a tire for $5 and then has to add sealant to a weekly cost of $97 once it's worn out. Yeah, so but I'm gonna bring it in, and I know they're not gonna be happy with me, not because of the tire, but I also want them to straighten the derailleur hanger that I know I just need to get fixed completely. But since I'll be gone, I was gonna be like, can you see if these tires will hold? That well, since I won't be able to pick it up till Tuesday because they're not open on Monday. So yeah. You're right. I'll probably it won't be $97 of sealant. It's just that I'll end up putting the tube right back in it most likely. We'll see. Yeah, and that same thing, William. I really like the idea of doing everyone else's setup because when I talk about my setup now, it's not changing that much. So I still make a video like this year. I still made one about it, even though it was same setup as last year, just because the channel's grown and not everyone watches every video. I'm always like, I'm saying the same thing, but then I'm like, well, if you already know this, you just don't have to watch it. I guess is kind of the attitude, but they always do well every year. And I think people, if you watched a bike setup video last year, you don't necessarily remember it, but still, yeah, it'd be nice to do it with different people's setups and different people's tents. Because there's things I don't like about mine that I like much better about some of my friends, and same thing with the bag setups, just different ideas. So, yeah. Hey, what's up, Eric? Love the 20-inch folding bikes. Yeah, we talked about folding bikes on here before, especially when Rick was still around. Where I live, there's not really a use for them because we don't really have good multimodal transport. So if I lived somewhere where there was like trains that you could take all the time and then you needed that kind of portability, I think they'd be really, really cool. But yeah, here I don't really have a need. They're not very practical, I guess. Shane asked how many miles I'm getting out of my drivetrain. That is not a number I would know the answer to, because just different stuff goes at different times. I've never I fully upgraded the Rally's drivetrain from 9-speed to 11-speed at one time, but that was just because that came available. A friend had 11-speed Shimano drivetrain he didn't want. But I've broken everything in different times. I got hit by a car which broke the cranks. I picked up a stick which ripped off the rear derailleur, and the shifters both broke, and Pudgy actually sold me some Ultegra ones to replace my 105 ones. So I don't really have an answer to that. I would find it hard to believe that certain elements of a 1x would last longer because you're putting way more wear on a chain with a 1x. If you're someone who knows how to shift a 2x, it's much harder on the cassette and the chain. There's no other way around that because you're cross-chaining all the time if you run a 1x system. But yeah, there's more moving parts in a 2x system, obviously, because you have to deal with the front derailleur. But I will say that the front derailleur is the only thing that hasn't broken on that drivetrain.
Wes Cheslak super chatted $9.99.
Hey, thanks, Wes. Wes just super chatted $10. I appreciate it. We could usually hear everything. I don't know why we can't. I wonder if the computer thinks let's see if it's just the computer thinks I have the audio set to something else. Yep, it thinks the DJI is our speakers. There we go, now we'll be able to hear stuff. I don't know why that took over. That's weird. Oh, they added where I could put a little heart on there. That's nice. But with this thing, we're using that app that also pops up. Or that app. I don't even know what you call it. Oh, it's a Chrome extension, right? Mm-hmm. That pops up the chats. Yeah, I haven't talked price yet, Pudgy, but I'd probably be interested in hearing that too. But yeah, Cleveland guy is the Blazing Saddles guy, and his bike company is Gringo Bicycles, his handmade bikes. But it's me. I haven't reached out to him. It's summer. I just want to ride, and I don't want to worry about it. But I'm still getting on the rally, and I have problems in the highest and the lowest gear because the hanger's bent again. But yeah, try and get it bent back one more time if Yonda doesn't fight me on it. So or Otis isn't happy about it either. He's like, get it fixed. Get you a beer. Thanks so much, Wes. Yep. Yeah, I've got that figured out finally. Yeah, I think you probably know this, Pudgy. I'm running a road group set, but I'm able to get to a 42 tooth rear cassette because I'm running that whatever you call those road links to drop the derailleur down. Crazy thing about that, I probably talked about this in videos or on the stream before, but when I ripped that rear derailleur off, it had a road link on it, and then I went on eBay and I found someone selling the same rear derailleur. It had the same exact road link on it, just a totally random coincidence. And I showed Dirty River the price, and they're like, yeah, just buy that one. That's a good deal. So. Live chat 226. Yeah, I looked at that number. It was on there from last week, and I don't know if I've kept up on that, if I've changed it every time. So we might be beyond that. It's one thing I do want to check into eventually because I just like knowing stuff like that. But either way, that's crazy that I've done this 226 times. Oh yeah, and if I put the road link onto the GRX, then I could get to 46. Yeah. I think if I ran the GRX, though, that'd be the point. Would be to not run the road link. You know, I think that's part of what is putting so much pressure onto that hanger that's already been bent a couple times. So I do like GRX group sets, but I also like the idea of having the 50/34 in the front, just because I do ride the Raleigh like a road bike. I actually just put the finishing touches on a video that will be, I haven't decided, either out on Thursday or Friday. I'm going to upload it tomorrow just because the videos are doing so well. I might like space it out a little more. But yeah, I did 114 miles on the road with 5,600 feet of climbing. Talked about the Sheetzery a little bit last week. So I still like having my 5011 on that bike. Pudgy says this means you've done this 226 times as well. Yeah, I was gonna say you were on vacation in Ireland, but I think you even popped in on when you were in Ireland. So you could run 46 without a road link on SRAM Rival, but then I'd have to have SRAM Rival. Big negative of that. I always say it. I'm like, I don't actually like, I always dog on SRAM, but I just think when it comes to mechanical drop bars, like in that one instance, is Shimano is better. That's my opinion. But Shane said, have I ever considered a suspension fork on my adventure bike? No, I'm not interested. I just like like on the Gunner, I'm good with the 55 tires. That bike's not suspension corrected either anyways. I don't know if that means it just can't take a mountain bike forks, or if maybe those lower travel gravel forks would work on it. But yeah, I don't even think the head tube would work with one of those. It doesn't matter. Nah, I don't really see the need for it. If I was going to get a suspension fork, I would just get a hardtail, which is not out of the question to have a hardtail mountain bike. But like I said, almost all our trails around here are so rideable without it. But plus it evens it out. Aaron has one, and when we go and ride it, we just went and rode Bedford mountain bike trails, 11 miles trail over there. Should be another video down the road when I get to it. I shot a lot of footage, but I feel like her having the hardtail with the suspension fork makes her a little bit faster, and then it kind of, I don't know, in that way evens us out. But I just feel like, yeah, I don't know, I'm on gravel bikes or ATVs, I'm not a fan of the idea of suspension, but I totally understand it for something that's going to be a little more dedicated to mountain biking riding. So Hey, what's up, Mile High? Oh yeah, you hopped on at 3 a.m. in Galway. Bedford Trail okay with a fat bike? I think Bedford would be great, like fat bike territory. Um, it reminded me. So Bedford has a bunch of different loops. Some of the loops reminded me a little bit of more old school, like Rocky, Rudy mountain biking, where, like I said, like West Branch, where I think a fat bike would be great. Some of it was much smoother, and like I said, it's almost like that's just a ride in the woods, and just you go as fast as you want to pedal. But yeah, I think that would be great fat bike trails. There are a decent amount of routes, so we stepped off the bikes on the first loop we rode a couple times, but the rest of it was pretty rideable, even if it was rough. So hey, what's up, Edwin? I know that says hello from Colombia, but your videos, I am Amante in the bicycles with you and you. Ah, that's the best my high school Spanish will get to me. I remember a little bit, but not a lot. Oh, I've got a mango Raja. I've never seen this before. I mean, I love White Raja by the Brew Kettle, and so I saw that they had a mango version and picked that up. Oh, left a little behind. You translating for me, Dave?
Trying.
Oh man, Edmund is out cold, huh? So yeah, I think that'll be another cool video to do is the solo bike packing thing, just because I haven't done it, even though it's just an overnighter. Uh, so that'll be a video probably next week, and then the actual event in the Meet Me in Manchester event, which from the final rider update we got today, it seems like these routes are going to be really, really cool. So kind of excited to see what he's got. He's doing an 85 and then two different 50s. I think me and Aaron are going to do one of the 50s because there's supposed to be a bunch of cool towns and photographic stuff along the way. So we kind of want to be able to enjoy it and check it out. You got our translation.
Yeah, what did you say it was?
Hi from Colombia.
Yeah.
I something your videos. I am also in the bicycles equal to you.
That's close. Greetings from Colombia. I love your videos. I am a bicycle lover just like you.
Ah, nice. Oh, Amante. Yeah, I could Amante being bicycle. So that means love. I am bicycle lover just like you.
You remember all that?
Yeah, some of it sticks out. I mean, Spanish is pretty common. I mean, like, and you hear people speak Spanish, still. So some of it sticks. I also watch World Tour Racing. So when they do the interviews, like Carapaz, he only speaks in Spanish, and then with the subtitles, that helps a little bit. So. Thanks, Budgie. Second, Brian said, a couple of your favorite camping rides have been solo trips. Rode out west on old Route 66 on one trip. Yeah, I haven't made it as far. Well, I don't. No, I haven't made it as. When I did 66, was I out where Brian? No, because I only did 66 from outside Chicago to Oklahoma City when I was working. But I remember seeing in that section how I thought some of it would be really cool for a bike tour. But yeah, I'd love to see more of it beyond. Yeah, I've never, like I said, I've just never had a reason to do a solo bike camping trip yet, and this is kind of the first one. I've always wondered how I'd feel doing something longer. As I've mentioned, traveling through, who's a friend of the channel. He's been posting YouTube shorts again lately. He hasn't been posting full-length videos, but did fully across the country solo and made videos the whole time. Yeah, I don't know. I traveled alone a lot when I was younger, not doing bike trips. I would bring my bike, but yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about doing a longer trip anymore. I'm lucky that I have friends who want to do bikepacking trips. Hey, thanks, JC.
I think that's one of my favorite videos of yours. I think you were in Cincinnati, riding that trail. You were just talking to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, riding up the.
That video was great.
That's how this video I plan to make it, is just to vlog it, like just talk to myself as I ride up. Those videos are actually easier to make because when I go to edit it, I already said everything. I did it. I already
It's
made
just
the
like
video.
trying to. You're right.
I just got to cut it together. It just takes that amount of time cutting it together, color grading it, stuff like that. But yeah, like when I make a video where I talk to the camera, those are the easiest kind of videos to make, surprisingly. Psycho Brian said your Route 66 riding has been west of Oklahoma City, where there's less traffic. Yeah, it was a mix where we were, because like not all Route 66 between Chicago and Oklahoma City actually exists anymore. So there would definitely be sections where you want to jump off, like the modern freeways have completely supplanted it. But hey, what's up, Oddity? Thanks. Looking for your first touring bike the past few months, torn between the Kona and the disc trucker. Huh. Yeah, I don't personally know anyone who rides the Kona Sutra, so I don't have a strong opinion on it, though I've seen videos with it. Disc truckers are great. I mean, all the Surleys are great. Any recommendations under $2,000? Yeah. Yeah, I think probably people in the comment would have a better opinion than I would on that. So, because I've always just adapted whatever I've owned to touring. Yeah, Pudgy said he would lean towards the Surly for longevity being stronger. Yeah, because disc truckers are pretty tough bikes. Joe, hopefully you bought decent SD cards. I never mess with cheap SD cards. I buy SanDisk, fast SanDisk cards. When you delete the footage, delete it in camera. So use the, and don't delete some of it. Transfer all your footage onto your computer, and then completely, what's the word for deleting footage on a camera?
I think you just said it.
No, there's like, when you clear a memory card on a camera, there's totally a word for that.
The cache?
You go into the menu system, it's
Delete.
Oh my God. Can't believe I can't think of it. But anyways, I would transfer all your footage and then go into the GoPro settings, the reset setting. What is the word for deleting everything off a SD card?
Reset? Reformat?
Format the SD card. That's the best practice. What's he doing over there?
Knocking everything over?
Yeah. So, good memory cards. Why buy a camera and then risk having your footage get ruined by cheap memory cards? Memory is cheap, especially micro SD cards now. And then transfer all the footage, format the SD card in the camera is the best practice. If money's not a huge issue, having a couple to rotate helps. So.
You saying to do that every time? Or when you first buy it?
When you first buy it, definitely format it in camera. But yes, not every single ride, but after a couple rides, format the whole card. Yeah.
Why?
It's just better. I don't know. I read the articles.
It's just better.
I don't know the science, but I've read about all the science from doing this for so many years. And it's better to do it in camera because, especially with Macs, when you put stuff in the trash can with a Mac, sometimes it doesn't truly delete stuff. And if you take the card out, it's still on the card till you put it back in and empty the trash. Macs are real bad with that kind of stuff. They're when I say that kind of stuff, I mean their entire operating system. Rise said, "How many bike is too many?" You're at 8. 9. I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy that question. I mean, like I said, in general, I'm almost like a two bike guy now, but I have whatever. I think we do a trivia contest counting them one night.
Yes. That was like the I forget the prize, but yes, that was the question.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Dimitri said. Reformat it. Definitely try that. Format. Everyone's give me the word that I can't think of. Jones said format, you pinecone. I would also say oddity that like, and I always say this, but I'm going to say it again. If you have a good local bike shop, go in and try stuff. That's the best way to know what you like and what feels good. But if you don't have a good local bike shop, that just sucks, and you have to then try and get some good advice. Like, but and I think Pudgy made a good point about like one being more of a general bike and one being more just dedicated to touring. Like for me, I like my bikes to have more than one function. Well, for the bikes that I actually put money in, I have other bikes that really do. I have a bike to tow Edmund around in a trailer, so I mean, but that's actually a very cheap vintage build, so you know. Oh, Co-op bikes are REI's brand. That's what you guys are talking about. Floor mat. Yeah, cycling, Brian. If I didn't, I'd love to tinker. So that's one of the reasons that I have more bikes than I need. But I did used to ride the vintage road bikes a lot and switch between them. And now I just don't. I'm looking at the bikes I have on the wall, and I haven't ridden any of my vintage road bikes all summer. So. Yeah, I definitely like the idea of getting a bike that could do more than one thing, though. Unless you really plan to do a ton of touring. But like I said, my gunner is like my bikepacking bike. It's my mountain bike. I just ride it if it's the bike that has the bags and my stuff on it sometimes. So. The cat bike is a clever way to put a little used bike to work. Yeah, and that's what I've also done, like with the Velo Orange utility bars onto the old stump jumper. It makes it so if I need to haul awkward shaped stuff or like a camera bag that's bigger and is not comfortable on my back, it has a dedicated purpose. But yeah, I could definitely get by without those things if I needed to. Same, I have my Marin, which I've done a couple tours on, that has a basket, so I have a basket bike. If I go to get a burrito from this place I like down the street, I'll take the basket bike. So. Your local bike shop doesn't stock either of those brands. Is it a truck bike shop? Don't get a cop bike. I'm going to get in all kinds of trouble now. I have 3 trucks here. I have to say that every time. Only bought one new, though, and it was before I knew there were cop bikes. It's 2001. Times were different. I didn't know any other bike brands existed. Surly has that industrial galvanized pipe tubing. Yeah, I definitely guessed that the Surly is going to be a heavier bike. But hey, what's up, Yinzer? How you doing? When you're using the drone flying behind you, do you feel like you have a pet crow or something? No, I feel like I have $2,000 behind me that I'm worried about the whole time. So. Yeah, I would definitely think that disc trucker is definitely overbuilt for non-touring, but that's where, you know, you can get others like the Surleys that like even the Midnight Special. Like I said, our buddy was touring on, so you could have a little lighter, more like road style geometry if you wanted something like that, and then kind of build it out as a touring bike. So they also Surly has other bike models though that are between those two. So. Bike talking. Huh. Interesting that they sell Salsa, but not the other Q brands. Because, you know, they can get Surly into the shop, but it's not something they put on the floor. Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think shops usually just carry extra disc truckers around. It's a little more, you know, niche.
Anaj Shrestha subscribed to the channel.
Huh. I didn't hear that either. I thought I fixed the volume issue. What is this option? Real text, the option that should work. Who knows? Maybe this $150 TV speakers don't work anymore. I don't even think it was that expensive. Surly has the tubing the cops wish their batons were made of. Really tempted to build a Bossy Hogsback as an ATB touring bike. I don't know what that is. It sounds familiar though, like it's something we've looked up before. Does that sound familiar to you? Oh, back. Oh, that's sweet. Is this the right thing? Bossy Hogsback Review Gravel Maverick. Oh wait, I don't have it on screen. Sorry guys. I definitely dig that, but you guys know me, I'm a sucker for classic style geometry. It's got 3 pack mounts on the fork. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like a biplane fork. Looks like a ton of clearance too. Is that first one? Okay, flat bar on both. Yeah, sweet bars on both. It's got to be a pricey bike, huh? Columbus steel. These photos are fantastic. So the preamble is later, but you still handle touring unless you're carrying extreme cargo. Oh yeah, Pudgy said check out the Fargo. The Salsa Fargo is a good bike too that you could oof the baton. Baton, yeah, I said baton. That's the British pronunciation. It's from listening to too many Clash songs, Dylan.
I was wondering if somebody's going to comment on that.
Yeah, it is though. Don't tear gas, no baton charge. You know, can't fault me for pronouncing it like the Clash, can you? Peekaboo, you said you're going to try your first bike packing trip on your Trek Marlin 7. Nice. Let's see which truck that. I don't even know what truck that is.
Isn't that it sounds like a
Oh, it's like
old Gary Fisher
more like a mountain bike.
model.
Truck wants to know my location. Truck needs to put cookies on here. I told you they're cop bikes. Yeah, that definitely works, especially if you're gonna hit some off-road. I ended up getting it up there, didn't I? Yeah, flat bars tend to be easy to change to sweep bars for sure. Erin's considering getting some sweep on her hardtail mountain bike actually, because her thumb has been bothering her, and so had her stand over my bike with the granola bars, and we went to Dirty River last week before a ride, and she was trying out some different bars that had less sweep than the granola bars, but more sweep than her true like flat bars. So Mark said, it didn't tell me this. I don't know this pronunciation either. I'm just saying Bassie. I don't know if it's Bazzi, like Mozzie, or Massey. Bassie is like kind of the Canadian Rivendell, built in Montreal. Oh, nice. I feel like maybe I have looked at them before, but I just kind of forgotten about it. On the fence, purchasing the Monet meal replacement bars for a retro MTB build. Let me look at them because my buddy was running a pair of Monet bars, but I don't know if it was those. Oh yeah. I think these might be what he was running. He definitely liked them, but he switched out. I can't remember if he switched to get something with more sweep, but it still had that riser bar. Oh, I don't have this one up here. Sorry. Still had that kind of like riser bar vibe, but he was running these on a midnight special actually. Whoops. I love the aesthetic of Monet stuff. Or money. It's not pronounced Monet, it's pronounced money. But that kind of leaves the... And he was doing everything by hand originally, and he still does some stuff by hand, but he has production stuff, but he still has him do it in his aesthetic with the... is that brazing? Brazing. Exposed. Kind of cool.
Oh, so that's kind of the shtick.
Yeah. His shtick. Maybe your new, better modern chromo bikes that much later than vintage. I would say in some cases no. My 96 Marin is the lightest steel bike frame, like before I build it up, that I've ever felt, and it's super flexy. Probably too flexy for what it was built for, but it just depends. And also, I mean, when you talk about modern chromoly bikes, is it, Taiwanese production, or is it hand built by a bike builder? You're obviously always going to pay a premium for someone hand building a bike in the U.S. But again, weight is not always the issue. I know, like you already said you're a weight weenie, and I already know that from hanging out with you. But better quality. Some I think are definitely better quality. Some aren't, but it just depends. I think there's ride quality issues, and build quality. It just depends on what you're going for. My Gunner isn't super light. It's not super heavy, but it's also built to take a touring load. So. Maple flavored Grant. Hey, what's up, Brian? That Hogsback frame is only 800. That's fork and everything.
That's what I was just looking at. It's
That's
all
$800.
Canadian. That's Canadian too.
He
The
said
site I
USD.
was looking at.
He said USD.
Yeah, it seemed relatively cheap. I was gonna ask
Seems way too cheap.
what exactly were you looking at? Like Hogsback what?
Hog's Back Review.
Gravel mat. Why
That's
not?
just the title of the article. Yeah.
I don't know what site I'm on, but there's like a tour.
Oh, they make a number
Wiggler.
of different models.
Yeah.
Here they are on analog cycles. Let's see, 860 for this one. Where is this the only photo of this bike? That's, I mean, a really good price. Rivendell frames aren't that cheap, are they? What's Edmund messing with now?
He's right here.
Edmund's right here?
Yeah.
Then what was that? What the hell was that? Is someone here?
Doesn't sound like it.
Something happened. Talk to them about this all. Nothing happened. I don't know. No idea. So there was just a weird noise out there. Had to check. Dang. Commenting like crazy.
Has anybody got thoughts on State?
State? Yeah,
It's like a budget.
super affordable. Not the nicest finishing.
No.
They're a good way to get a affordable bike. You know, I know they've said at Dirty River the QC, the quality control, is not the best on State, but some people have had luck with one and they've upgraded over years and have ridden it forever. So I think State might have started doing like fixies, but then made more inexpensive gravel bikes. And they'll usually spec them out with really cheap components, but you can upgrade all that stuff. So tumbleweed bars for Aaron. Huh. Yeah, that might work. Yeah, the respray of bikes, used bikes, I know. But I had a that stump jumper we looked at on the channel here, the M2. I gave it to a friend, and he did a full respray on it, aluminum M2 stump jumper. Cycling Brian, how you just got the Grant reference. Michigan biker. I had a pretty light 70. I had a pretty light. No, it was a late 70s Puke as well, and my Peugeots aren't as light. They're not even double butted, but I do have a fairly lightweight Gitan made out of 531. Peekaboo, you said you were watching the stream from 20 minutes ago. Oh, you started it at the beginning, maybe? Oh, Analog is the distributor for Bassi. Yep. Yeah, I'm not a, like as you guys know, I'm not a weight weenie either. I don't try and like excessively, make a bike heavy, but Devo T said I use bikes. I just repainted an aluminum frame. Took you 2 seasons. Yeah. Mark, this is not something that I have a strong opinion on because I have friends who have rebuilt a lot of 90s hybrids into other kinds of bikes. One thing Yanda, the mechanic at Dirty River, has said is that like you should be careful what you do with the hybrid, that if you rebuild it into like a gravel bike or something that you're going to ride more gnarly stuff on, because they weren't designed for that. But that's what he said. I feel like my Marin shouldn't be ridden on stuff like that either. So, and that is a full-on mountain bike. So, yeah. And Tim was saying the different versions of the Bassies are just for the different builds, the different levels of build.
Oh, okay.
Analog for all your weird frame needs, for sure. Yeah. And freaky 0 millimeter stem. Have you ever seen that thing? Analog stem with no.
No.
Yeah, what is that thing called? Probably could just go to. Oh, dang it! Click on the right things. Components. Let's see, stems. Do they not have the 0 stem on here anymore? Oh, is it this guy? Oh, yeah. Look at this thing.
What?
I heard him on Path. Yeah, 0 to 0. Yeah, how to do on 0 millimeters. Yeah. I know he was talking about building it on certain bikes that handles actually totally fine, but yeah, it was a Pathless Pedal live stream I believe he was on, or interview. Oh yeah, I forgot Pudgy's gonna have to go off on Rivendell because he hates Grant Peterson. State bikes are a gateway drug into better bikes. Yeah, and like I was saying there to a minute, like some people had really good luck with them and upgraded them. It's kind of like the brand Fairdale, which I think Dirty River favored a little bit for a while there because just a little slightly better build quality, but still pretty affordable frames that you could upgrade. So State just came out with a killer deal for a titanium gravel bike. Huh. $2,400 entry, $4,400 for a crazy build. Man, I feel like if I was going to spend the money on Ty, I'm just going to spend the money to get something that wasn't a State, but I feel like that defeats the purpose of getting a State bike, and again, that's not expensive for titanium, but you know. Dylan said the deal is too good. They are mixing molten magnesium in the tubing or something. Yeah, I think it's a mixed bag, Mark. Like even some of my vintage road bikes, like my Viscount is supposed to have the death fork, and that's what I was riding when I started riding gravel. So you know, a vintage road bike with an aluminum fork that is known to fail. So there we, you know. Probably said Fairdales are awesome. Fairdale was making some super sharp looking bikes right when Dirty River first opened. They had the black ones, but then they had the full chromed ones, which were really cool. And there was a lot of people that, because of Dirty River, got into like biking and doing gravel, and then more gnarly stuff by buying a Fairdale's typical build, upgrading it a little bit, and then moving over to like a Surly or an All City or something like that eventually. So, oh yeah, State does all the collaborations. They also do. They used to do the really good YouTube channel. I don't think they really post. Do they post much over there anymore? Dylan said exactly, like you aren't going to drip a Chris King headset onto a State. Peekaboo said you have an early 90s Schwinn crisscross that you're collecting parts for to make into a gravel bike with nice components. Yeah, I'd love builds like that. I wonder how wide of tires you could get onto that. Have you checked yet? Those are also the kind of bikes that are cool to do if you could pull it off, like the 650 conversion onto with some long reach brakes, so you could get that extra wide tire into there. Yeah, Schwinn still had a number of decent bikes up into the even mid 90s before they became much more of a Walmart brand. I guess that'd probably be a little more early 2000s, right? I hate that. I was on a bike ride with a couple once. It was actually my friend Bob, who passed away, was leading this ride, and the one guy, he was like I can't believe how cheap the Schwinn was, but I know it's good. It's a Schwinn. And, you know, it was a total Walmart. I mean, it was a total piece of junk. It actually broke on the ride. I, like, had to, like, I didn't totally break, but something that I can't remember what it was that I had to fix because it was, and I remember looking at the components and being like, oh my God, this is absolute trash. But it shows why people buy those brand names, because there's just enough people who don't, you know, and nothing against this guy, just don't pay enough attention. That's a name that used to mean quality, so. 38, maybe 42 of pushing it. Yeah, that's what I usually. 38's about where I could get on vintage bikes usually that aren't mountain bikes. Rich said you wish you could have gotten there Fairdale with the green gravel bike, but you missed out. Don said you could get a Lightspeed Thai Sharohala for $2,200. 15. Or I think you're saying 15% off during the tour. Oh, by the way, are we after 10? Oh yeah, 10:13. We're only going to go a little longer. I was telling Dave before we came on that Edmund just drove me insane last night. I got up in the middle of the night to feed him because he bothered me, and I had to be up early, so I didn't even pay attention to the time. But then the rest of the morning, he would lay on my shoulder, staring at me, meowing at me. And then when that didn't work, he started to touch my face. At first, I thought he was like petting me, like he had learned how to like pet a person, like he gets pet. Akarex said, "Can someone explain why a titanium bike would sometimes have a carbon fork if the whole idea of full titanium is ride quality? Just weight. It would just be a weight thing. So it just depends on which direction you want to go. And carbon forks, depending on how you're going to ride the bike, do dampen like that low level vibration. So it just really depends on what you're going for." So. Oh, nice, Peekaboo. Yeah, I'd be into that. Dylan said reclaiming dental co-pays is the purpose. Yeah, in cycling, Brian, this would be one of those things that's like any of the big Schwinn always was like that. They made, you know, their Paramount, you know, facility in the 80s was making high-end custom race bikes, and then they were selling complete consumer bikes on the other side. Peugeot was the same way as a giant, the biggest French company. They had, you know, custom-built high-end race bikes, and then they had some of the Peugeots I have, which are low-end, you know, straight-gauge tubing bikes. So, but yeah, an old Schwinn that was built by Schwinn, especially if we're talking Chicago, was still going to be better than the Walmart versions that they make now. The cat yearns for the rides. I know. I'm like, just what do you want? Because I'm not taking you outside at 4 a.m, but don't blame this on Edmund. Down said Alibaba has titanium forks in the $250 range. Yeah. Oh, so Pudgy was saying a price thing too. So beyond ride quality, carbon fork $500, Thai fork $1,000, and obviously, you know, variable numbers, which, yeah, so it could be a price thing too. But I don't know. As we've learned from a number of videos, there's no such thing as vertical compliance. But again, I think that's half the story. The fact that lateral compliance exists matters. So, all right, what time we got?
About 30 seconds after what you said last time.
What's that? 30 seconds after what? I can't remember what I said last time.
Michael
about a quarter
Champagne
after.
subscribed to the channel.
Yeah, why don't we wrap it up for the night? should be able to stream on next Tuesday, so I'm not going to miss anything. And like I said,
Simon
got a bunch of
subscribed
videos
to
in
the channel.
works. Definitely have one coming out either Thursday or Saturday, just depending on when I decide to put it out. Then I'll be up in Michigan, and
Wyatt
that video
Wilkinson
is about that.
subscribed to
But
the channel.
thanks everyone as always for joining. God, thanks for the just overwhelming support of the last few videos. It's actually been pretty mind-blowing. The channel's never seen numbers in 1 week like it has this last week, which is just wild. And then people super thanks and all that stuff has just been really cool. Thanks everyone who super chatted tonight. Yeah, fun hanging out, just a random talk. Haven't done one this random in a while, but still want to keep mixing in the guests. All right, I'm going to stop rambling before I get like a million comments that I won't stop replying to. All right, peace everyone.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is where I just came.
Fitzwater photo.